of the year 1995. But what make more special this mural is the expression of the artist. I can wait more than you because I am the time. Because when he began this, people said it's an impossible mission. But right now, we have 30 years of creation. So we restore this mural year after year because this is the first official mural. You see, as a part of the project also we have school like this. That school that you can see behind you. This is a junior high school from the government. But most of the children who comes into our workshop, they come from that school too. Not only from that school, they come from different schools too. You can watch, no problem, you can make pictures, everything is alright.
Gracias.
See, we use recycled material.
Bien.
We use recycled material because we teach our children about the main importance of recycling the material for the world. You see, so here you can see also that school, the decoration, completely made by us. You see, everything. Okay. Now all the sculptures you will see represent other African divinities. Come on here. For example, this monument that you will watch in front of you, that is dedicated to represent Obatala. Obatala is the only divinity that has the capacity to think like men and like women in the same time. As you can see, that has different heads in miniature. That's why they call the king or the queen of the head. Because you know, you women think in one way and women think in other way. That is the reason, that's why sometimes there are many problems in the relationship. However, the divinity has the capacity to think like men and like women in the same time. Also, we have the women of the world. She represents Oya. Oya is the queen of the queens, the hurricanes and the cemetery. And she also represents that white river that have sometimes the women. You understand, when they make the imposition from the men, things like that, that is represented by that divinity there. You see, here, in this case, make one S. The S is in honor of Salvador because he have success to locate this community because before it was just for a forgotten community. You understand? Again, it was not possible to practice openly the African tradition. It was not possible to recognize the rumba as a musical genre. But now, thanks to our project, that has changed completely. You see, here we have our workshop. Come on, watch inside. This is a project in course, but inside we teach the children. You understand about the art of percussion and English language. I show you inside, no problem. You can look. See?
This place is really cool.
That is also made with recycled material. In this case, piano bar. Many stones dominate here. But why many stones? Because the African believe that when the sun comes back into the sky, they come back into the land also by the rains. In this area inside, this is what we teach. You see, watch out with that. Here we teach about English, dance, percussion, you understand? So this is our workshop. By the moment it's small, but we are working little by little with the expansion. What happened here, we don't get any help. You understand? This is a self-finance project. You understand? So according to the money we get, that is will be the coordination of the lesson, fixing the material, things like that. Because everything has been created by us direct, by the average of the main artisan. You see, so here we will continue in this area. We get expansion, but this is a future project, you understand? By the moment only we can't do that. See, in the future, we are planning to make expansion of the classroom. You understand? To teach many more lessons, many more things here. We have here more bata, but that is little by little. It's a future, you understand? Not by the moment. It's a little by little. But recycle material again because we teach about the importance of recycling the material for the world. Little by little, we have now 30 years. You understand? Okay, come on, show you more, no problem. Here on Sunday, when we make a rumba, the street is full of people. Everybody comes here to dance. Everybody, many people come here. You understand? So here it's the same when we make the lesson. Also homes, many people, you understand, to dance. So happen the same. You see? But it's little by little because it's hard. You understand?
And the Orishas, they come from Nigeria, correct?
Huh?
The Orishas?
The Orishas come from different parts.
Different parts of...
You understand? Because by example,
Yes.
Culto al Palo Monte, that
Sí.
come from the Congo.
Okay.
You understand? Rule of Ifa, that come from Nigeria. You see, the secret society of Aqua, that come from Caraval.
Carevale.
Caraval or Caravali, yes, are completely different. You understand? But Puero. Also, in the African tradition, there are spiritual tradition too, like the Indian tradition. You understand? Because in the Occident, people have more influence of the African tradition directly. But I mean in the Occident, but in the Orient, they are more Indian tradition to mix it. So here, when they speak about Santeria, they only make adoration to the African tradition directly. You understand? But in Orient, by example, in Baracoa, if you go to Baracoa or Guantanamo, you will see many more people like me. You understand? So there they practice more. You understand? The thing is that all that religion had to do with the spiritual world. You understand? There is a big influence, and then they believe that there are some spiritual things that live in the other side. And that spiritual thing comes into the terrenal side to help the people. So that spiritual religion in general, no African, no Indian, in general spiritual, you understand, have to do with the energy of that spiritual guardian that born with you and died with you. See? So that spiritual tradition are not to become millionaire. That is to make better your future. Because everybody born with their own destiny. You see? But it's not the same be a diamond in the garbage that be a diamond in the museum. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So what do? The spiritual tradition in general, when I say spiritual, is to put both Indian and African all completely inside. You understand? Is help the spiritual guardian for that he can help. You understand? You in the terrenal world. You see? But where here, as this is the Occident, all are more mixed with the Santeria or rule of Shaifa. You understand? That have to do with the African tradition, with the Catholic tradition. By example, this totem behind you is dedicated to represent Shango. Shango is the king of the thunder, the king of the fire. Shango is the divinity that represents the energy of the life. But in the Catholic tradition, his name is Santa Barbara Bendita. You understand? So in that African tradition, by example, Santeria, I use the term Afro for that you understand that have to do with the spiritual world, because if I said Cuban tradition, you will send me salsa. You understand? Exactly. That is the reason. That's why I use that term completely. So if you watch well, the totem have three colors: red, black, and white. Red and black represents Elegua. Elegua is the divinity that controls the door of the destiny, and red and white represent Shango. You see? So here we have this other totem here. Here, please.
Oh, right here.
Here is dedicated to represent the Indian tradition. How the same thing I explained you, because Cuba was populated by the Indians before the conqueror brought the slave into the island. You see the difference? Completely Indian and Afro-Cuban, like we said. See? So here, this mural represents the fusion of the two waters. Yellow water from the river, finally blue water from the sea. Therefore, in the middle of the water, where the water is not sacred, people who are sons of daughter of Ochun or Yemaya, they make different ceremonies to clean it up, because they say that that water have magical power. Inspired in that in Baracoa, the film was movie named Honey to Ochun, because Baracoa was the first village created by the conquerors. You understand? I'm over here. Have you ever seen in our project the illuminate a lot of metal? because Ogun was the first divinity sending into the land according to the Yoruba theology. How's that? We have also this in here. Yeah. See, this thing here is dedicated also directly to Ogun. This is no Wi-Fi, no internet like people used to say. They said internet because internet or informatic is inspired in the mathematics, but all metal directly to Ogun, the first divinity sending into the land according to the Yoruba theology. The second divinity was Olokun. Olokun is the divinity that controls the deepness of the sea, and that is the reason that's why there are many blue color here, many things that have to do with the sea. And the big thing is red color that represents Elegua. Elegua, red and black, was the third divinity, but he had success about his mission to make the land alive. You understand? That is the reason that's why in any kind of African representation, things like that, first they give the first step to Elegua. You understand? So here in this area, I think we be here in this one. Area cultural cubana, donde cae hueso, Callejon de Hamel. In this area here is where we cross here and we bring here different groups. You understand why on Sunday? Because again, it's with the worker who must pay everything. But this is free for everybody. Here nothing is obligated. If at the end people want to help, they can. You understand? But here, the most important of our project is the art and culture for everybody. You understand? So here on Sunday, the street is full of people. Many people come here, they dance, they enjoy, they feel good. You understand? Because they are in a place where they can, you understand, enjoy the music they love. In this case, rumba. That is the typical music we play here in our town. You understand? Over here, actually. You see? So here we have the idea of guys. See here? This. One of my friends here, you can feel it, but inside you cannot.
Okay.
Our authentic art.
Yes, sir. Right, yeah.
He's the artist.
Oh.
He's the artist. See? So here, they prepare the typical drink named El Negron. That happens inside this. Basil, honey, lemon juice, water with gas, filter ice, and the rum is soft. You understand? Come on, you can watch here. So here you can watch the artist, in that case, Queen Alisa Alonso, the queen of the Cuban National Ballet. She has died already, but she's still the queen of the Cuban National Ballet. Here, with personality, like
Estados Unidos.
There she replaced the guitarist of the group Led Zeppelin there, with Haribela Fox, there with Simani Javier. As you can see, everybody come here to enjoy that typical drink, because that is the only place where you can enjoy that typical drink. Like the promotion says, la Esquinita, la Floridita, Mojito, and la Bodeguita, and the Negron here in the Callejon. That is also when we finish the tour. If you want, you can try, or if you want to try now, no problem.
Yes.
You can sit and after to continue with the tour, if you wish.
Yeah, he's... Is he from Mexico? Es Salvador de Mexico.
No, here, Camagüey represent the city where the artist was born.
Ah, okay.
You understand what happened?
Yes.
Here comes many people, so they blow the flag, things like that, you understand?
Yes.
Because many people come here, imagine 30 years.
Right.
You understand? And the promotion have been created by the Sempista. And all the time when they come here, they see that still we like our main target, that is give art and culture for everybody.
Yes.
That is the reason that's why many people keep on coming here into our community.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Beautiful. Boricua. La manera boricua.
So here, we have another African representation. In this case, from the origin Conoan Raven Purple Palomongo Vela del Parque. This African tradition, the divinity are not represented by the Catholic sign. They are represented by the sign that you can see in the ground. Where the priest of this African tradition grand software made with recycled material too. As you can see, these are authentic piano parts, and these are original kind of bullet from the time of the Coast. You understand? So that represents hope for all the children in the world. Also here in Cuba, you will see many places like this. Name it the Herber. In this place is where people buy different necklaces as protection. You understand? So according with your spiritual guardian, like this will be the color of the divinity who will protect you. And that is the reason that's why you can see people wearing white clothes but with different necklaces. Because not everybody have their own spiritual guardian. And I explained you before, each color represents a different African divinity. Normally when people don't practice directly, they can choose that easier because there is one necklace who gets your attention. When that happens, it's because it's your spiritual guardian who is speaking. That is the reason that's why you love one color, you love another color, you love another color, and you love another color. Everybody loves color different. You understand? Because are different divinities. You see? So here we have this mural. As you will see in this case, dedicated represents the two divinities of the water. One Oshun, one of the river, and another Jemanja, the mother of the sea. Why water? Because water is life. The artist also represents the Rasta, because for the Rasta, Africa is the motherland where everything begins. And for finish here, I show you the main entrance. As you will see here, represented also by one way who represents Eleguan, the divinity that controls the destiny. That's down there, Eleguan. See? This other monument here representing the divinity of the metal. See? So they are warriors directly protecting the main entrance. And here my friend is finished the tour. So look, I show you. This is the typical music.